When someone asks, "How are you?" what's your go-to answer? For so many of us, it's just, "I'm fine." But what if I told you that one little phrase is actually holding your English back? Well, today we're going to unlock a whole new world of responses that will make you sound so much more fluent, more natural, and honestly, a lot more interesting. Let's get right into it.
We've all been there, right? I'm fine is safe, it's easy, but let's be honest, it is a total conversation killer. It doesn't tell anyone how you're actually doing. So in this explainer, we're going to give your vocabulary a complete upgrade. Think of it as a toolkit of phrases that will help you really connect with people and sound way more like a native speaker.
So here's the game plan. We'll kick things off by settling that great "I'm good" versus "I'm well" debate once and for all. Then we'll jump into some genuinely positive replies for when you're having a great day. After that, we'll look at the neutral ones for those just okay kinds of days. We'll also cover how to be honest when you're having a tough time. And to wrap it all up, we'll dive into some creative and witty responses that will really make you stand out.
Okay, first up, let's tackle a question that trips up a ton of English learners, and hey, even some native speakers. Is it "I'm good" or "I'm well"? Let's finally settle this thing.
You've probably been taught that you have to say "I'm well." But here's the secret. In modern, everyday English, "I'm good" is completely, totally acceptable. Just think of it like this. Good describes your state of being, just like happy or sad does. The only time you really need to be specific and use "well" is when you're talking about your physical health.
Now, the real key here is the verb you use. If someone asks, "How are you doing?" and you're talking about your health or maybe your progress on a project, you'd say you're doing well. But if you're talking about performing good deeds, like volunteering or helping someone out, then you're doing good. It's a small change in words, but it makes a huge difference in the meaning. Okay, now that we've got that bit of grammar sorted out, let's get to the really fun part. What do you say when you are feeling genuinely great? Here are some absolutely excellent options. This one is just fantastic. It's so high energy. "Never been better" is short, it's powerful, and it leaves absolutely no doubt that you are on top of the world. It's such a great way to share that positive vibe you've got going on.
This is a really good one for when you're in the middle of something, maybe a new project at work or just a really busy week. Saying, "So far so good," lets the other person know that everything is going nice and smoothly. It's super positive and very forward-looking.
This is one of my personal favorites, and it's all about how you say it. If you say "can't complain" with a big smile, it's a really humble way of saying that life is actually pretty amazing. You're happy, but you're not, bragging about it.
Here's a more humorous one for you. "Better than I deserve" is just a witty and kind of self-deprecating way to say that things are going really, really well. It's a great way to share your good fortune without sounding arrogant, and trust me, it usually gets a little laugh.
But let's be realistic, right? Not every single day is amazing. Sometimes things are just, okay. So what do you say then? Let's explore that neutral territory, that big space between fantastic and terrible.
Here are some classic phrases for just an average day. "I'm all right" is super common, especially in British English. "So-so" is a really simple way to say things are neither good nor bad. "Could be better" leans a little more negative, but it's still pretty neutral. And same old" is perfect for when your life is just in a predictable, normal routine. Okay, once again, your tone of voice is everything with this one. If you say, "Not too bad," with a little shrug, it suggests that things are just okay. It's a very, very common response that kind of sits right in that middle ground between neutral and slightly negative.
These phrases are a little more on the dramatic side, but they're so useful for when you feel like you're just managing to keep your head above water. "I'm surviving" or "I'm alive" can be said with a bit of humor, but they definitely signal that you're going through something. "Good enough" is just a more resigned way of saying pretty much the same thing.
Sometimes we're just not okay, and that is perfectly okay. Being able to express that you're having a tough time is a really important skill. So let's look at some ways to do that honestly and effectively.
Let's start with the phrases you can use when you're struggling and you're actually willing to talk about it. These are basically invitations for the other person to listen and maybe offer some support.
Kicking off with "I'm not gonna lie" is a really clear signal that you're about to say something negative. "I'm struggling a bit" is a gentle way to say you're having a hard time emotionally. "I'm snowed under" is a great idiom for when you are just buried in work. And "I'm a bit under the weather" is the perfect phrase for when you're feeling a little sick. All of these open the door for a more serious conversation.
But what if you're not in the mood to talk about it?
That is perfectly fine too. Here are a few ways you can politely signal that, you know what, you'd rather not get into all the details right now.
Okay, these are a bit more direct, but they definitely get the message across. You don't want to know and don't ask are very clear signals that you're not open to discussing what's wrong. And it's too early to tell is a useful and slightly funny way to deflect the question, especially first thing in the morning.
All right, let's wrap this up with my absolute favorite category, the creative and witty replies. These are the phrases that really show off your personality and your sense of humor. Let's have some fun with it.
Come on, this one is just pure fun. If I had a tail, I would wag it is such a charming and creative way to express that you're extremely happy. It's a little bit silly, and I promise you, it's almost guaranteed to make the other person smile.
Here's a classic, especially for the workplace. Overworked and underpaid is a sarcastic and super relatable complaint that can actually be a funny little bonding experience with your colleagues. It's a way of saying you're busy, but with a great sense of humor.
Oh, this one perfectly captures that feeling of just being uninspired. Somewhere between blah and meh is a modern, sarcastic, and really funny way to describe a thoroughly average day. It's so much more descriptive than just saying, I'm fine, right?
So what's the big takeaway here? Your answer to how are you is so much more than just a few words. It's a chance to connect, a chance to show your personality, and to tell a tiny little story about your life. So the next time someone asks you that question, just take a second and think, what story do you want to tell today? Thanks for joining me.